Hi guys, I'm sorry I'm late with the update. We're at the end of week 2 of taking 125 milligrams of sertraline to treat PPPD and CPTSD. Excuse me, I've got a wobbly camera. I'm in the hot tub at the moment. Just a bit of self-care needed. I'm going to try and steady my hand on something. Yeah, so I haven't been too bad actually. I'm late with the update because I honestly didn't have any time to myself to record a video this last weekend. I was at a party on Saturday and I had to spend most of Saturday afternoon cleaning my house and doing the garden for people that were coming over on Sunday. So it's just been like, yeah, just really busy. And actually on Saturday I was finding that I was having to take regular breaks and sit down because I was getting giddy. But I know that's because I was rushing around again. I've got to stop doing that. I think I'm Superwoman, and I don't know who I'm trying to prove something to, you know, because nobody's given me a gold star for doing things well, you know. But I've got to change that pattern of behaviour, because that is what stresses me out. It's you know, I'm trying to do too much. It's just cleaning the house, but I mean, it was a time-sensitive thing. I had to do it before I went to this party because I knew I was going to be at the party all evening, and then I was having people over the next day at midday, and I knew that it was going to be a late night the night before anyway. So I knew that I needed to get it all done Saturday, and it was hot and I had a lot to do, and my body was like, no, here's some dizziness, go and sit down. But I know that's the only reason why. But actually I feel I'm feeling a difference on 125. I'm feeling a lot more confident in my body. I was anyway. I mean, I've slowly been getting better on that front anyway, but I've definitely felt more tired as a side effect, because again it's just slowing everything down. So I laid in a long lay-in this morning until about 10:30, but I thought, I don't care, I'm not working today, I'm just going to lay in. If I want to lay in, I'm laying in. So I'm really practicing self-care, and I laid in this morning, but for about 3 hours I had conversations on email with solicitors in Spain, solicitors in the UK, all to do with my dad's estate, and now my ears are ringing. So again, it's a stress related thing. So the symptoms are still there in the background, they just show themselves when I'm stressed. So I'm not worried about it. It's just made me think, right, okay, you can't do any more today, you're not Superwoman, just get in the hot tub and relax. So that's what I'm doing. I wanted to talk about a comparison to, I know we went through symptoms last week. I'm not going to talk about symptoms today because what's the point? I just want to show you the positives about the difference that the sertraline has made, and just my overall progress, to show you how things do improve. But it's hard when you're in it to actually see that you're improving. Excuse the funny angle, I'm sort of having to rest you on a table at the moment to talk to you. So I made notes of what PPPD has been like at its very worst and comparing it to how I am now. So I just thought I'd cover that today. So at my worst, I was walking 12 miles a day on average, doing around 28,000 steps. I could not sit still at all. It was extremely uncomfortable for me. It still is to a certain extent, but I couldn't sit still anywhere before. Whereas now I only get a phobic response to being in certain places and being sat down, which is odd. I lost 6 stone in weight as a result of this hyperarousal. I was worse when I was moving at first. So when I first got this in May 2021, I was bedridden. So I was worse when I was moving. My legs were like jelly, and I spent months in bed. And then I learned that walking was safe, and then it switched around to being like an MDDS type symptom, which is why I'm not bothered about a diagnosis label, because it's nonsensical stuff. You know, it has changed. The symptoms have moved around, which is indicative of it being, you know, a psychophysiological thing. So yeah, so in the beginning movement was worse, and then because I taught myself that movement was safe, it was then, oh, okay, so it's going to be worse when you're sitting still or standing still and laying still. I couldn't take a shower or wash my hair. In order to do that, I mean, it's gross thinking about it, but sometimes I go a week without having a shower because I just could not go through it. A bath just wasn't, I just couldn't get it. I was scared getting in and out the bath. It wasn't the actual process of sitting in water, it was the getting in and out. And the shower was just a no-no. So the only time I could have a shower and wash my hair, I'd have to time it for exactly when I got out of a car. So if I'd been on a long journey, which I'll go into in a minute, if I'm on a long journey, it would take about 20 minutes after disembarking from the car for me to get dizzy again. So in that 20 minutes, I would literally get out the car, rush indoors, have a shower and wash my hair, get it out of the way before the dizziness set in. It's crazy, isn't it? So that's what I did to cope. I couldn't be left alone at all. And I was fortunate enough that my partner works from home, so he was always around, but I could not be left alone. I had tachycardia on standing, so I would get a fast heart rate when I stood up. I used to have panic attacks on a daily basis, and one was particularly bad and I had to go to A&E, and they just, they put an ECG on me and they just sent me home after a while. I fell down the stairs and nearly passed out at the bottom. That was because I got out of bed to go to the toilet in the middle of the night and it was dark. I just put the light on and I was obviously a bit half asleep still, and I got lightheaded at the top of the stairs and I fell right from the top to the bottom. And I live in a Victorian house, in an old house with wooden stairs, no carpet, and it really, really hurt. And I got to the bottom and I could not stand up. I was crawling to the toilet. I felt sick. I was sweating. It was just horrible. I couldn't be with my dad when he was dying. Well, I couldn't be with my dad when he was dying anyway, but I mean, I couldn't accompany him to hospital visits. I would have to go in the car and I would be pacing around the car park of the hospital outside while my partner went in and held his hand because I couldn't sit in a chair. At his funeral, I was draped over the side of a church pew like a drunk person because I couldn't bear to sit upright for that long singing hymns and obviously being so distraught. I was literally hanging to one side over the side of the pew, and I told the funeral directors everything that I'd been through. And I said, I'm sorry if I have to get up in the middle of the service, please don't think I'm being disrespectful. He's my dad, I love him. I've just got this condition and I can't. And they were like, no, you do whatever you need to do. So that was really difficult for me. I still have a massager on me, but only when I'm having to sit down for long periods. So it's particularly the sofa. But yeah, that was kind of, before the massager, I was having to sit on an exercise ball to eat my dinner, or I was just any kind of interaction where it required seating. I mean, I remember the first time that I went away on holiday to Norfolk in the UK. It's only a couple of hours away from where I live. My partner desperately wanted to go away. It was his birthday, and so I said, yeah, let's go, as long as I can keep walking. So, but the hotel, I remember taking a fully blown up massive exercise ball up the stairs to the hotel and people looking at me like I was crazy. And I had to put that into the hotel room. Otherwise I couldn't sit down and do my makeup or anything like that. So I'd sit on the exercise ball so I could move. That's how bad I was. And this was only a year ago. I was suicidal after my dad's diagnosis. Not because of the diagnosis, but because I didn't believe that my body could be doing this to me. I just needed to be there to handle everything, and I couldn't be, and I just couldn't handle how this was making me feel. So I was on the phone to Samaritans pretty much every day. I couldn't breathe properly. I would get extremely short of breath and almost hyperventilate when I was in certain positions. And that just became another prediction error, which I was able to recognise, but I didn't know what to do about it. I was going out in the car every single day, and I don't drive, so my partner knew, he could see how in distress I was, just hanging around the house, and that I needed to move. And the only time that I felt normal was in a car. So he would take time out of work, and we actually ran out of places to visit because I would beg him to take me on the longest possible car drive, just so that I could get some relief. We were driving, I mean, we've covered every single village, every single town within a 30-mile radius, I think, and I'm not joking. That's how bad it was. God knows how much fuel we've done doing that. But I remember it would get to the point where he'd be like, I'm really hungry, can we get some lunch? And I could only ever eat, when we were out, I'm saying, like when we go out for a car journey, I could only ever eat in the car when it was moving. Or I remember this time we went to this particular village, and it was lovely. It was in Essex, a place called Finchingfield, if anyone's interested. But it was really nice, and my other half said, I'd really like to stop here for some lunch. He's like, all right, I don't want to have to keep driving. And I felt sorry for him, and I was like, okay. He said, what are you going to do? I said, well, we'll just have to walk around. I'll have to walk around eating. So we went in this lovely little tea rooms, and I said, can I get mine to take away? She said, yeah, sure. And I took the stuff out, and I remember walking around a graveyard eating because I couldn't sit still, even in the car. I could sit still in the car when it was moving, but not, this is how bad it was, guys. I would have my AirPods, the AirPods things, like headphones, in all day and all night, with either calming music or the Dare app, which I was using for some time last year, or I'd have the Steady Coach in my ears, or Dan Buglio, or Audible, anything. Claire Weeks, mainly Claire Weeks, to be honest with you. Claire Weeks is the person that got me through the worst of it, and then the others, but Claire Weeks was in my ears all the time to help me cope, just day to day. And actually, I listened through these earbuds so much that I bought 3 pairs, so that there was never an opportunity for any of them to run out of battery. It's crazy when I say all this stuff now. I'd have a panic attack if I bumped into someone in the street and I had to stand there talking to them. And quite a lot of people know me around here. And I'd go out for a walk with Gary, my other half, because I needed to move. And then if I'd see somebody, like an elderly person particularly, and I looked normal and they'd want to stop and talk to me in the street, I remember just having a panic attack talking to this woman, and I was gripping onto Gary's hand, and we couldn't get away from her, and it was awful. And I got into the chemist. I'd only wanted to go to the chemist to pick up a prescription. I remember getting to the chemist and just feeling just exhausted. I couldn't stand in a queue in a shop. I remember going to my local co-op store just for groceries or something, and just if there was a long queue, it was unbearable. I'd just be standing there going like this, just so agitated, moving left to right, and just looking around at people thinking, God, what is wrong with me? Why can't I be like them? So that's when I put Claire Weeks in my ears, because she really helped me get through that and breathe and learn how to to handle that. So she was instrumental in my recovery. I couldn't cook anything, and actually I still struggle to stand with my head down for long periods of time in the kitchen. So the food that I tend to eat, I mean, I mainly have chicken salad every night, and just anything fresh that I can just grab, really, and cereal in the morning. It's just easier than actually cooking and preparing food. My partner does some cooking sometimes, but he doesn't eat meat, so we eat separately most of the time anyway. But he was having to do a lot of the cooking. So that's it. That's how I was a year ago. And now, year later, I'm able to go to parties. I'm confident enough to go dancing. I'm able to sit down on a beach for hours on end and not feel dizzy. I'm able to sit at my friend's house without needing to bring a ball or a massager with me. I've started work. I can eat sitting down at a restaurant now. I don't have panic attacks anymore. I can stand in a queue. I don't like it, it's uncomfortable, but I can do it, and I'm not afraid of the feelings anymore. It's slowly getting better. My breathing's normal. I don't get this weird prediction thing with breathing anymore, which is what tells me that I know I'm going to get better from the dizziness, because it is just incorrect predictions. So I got rid of that like neural circuit so I can get rid of this one, you know. I'm not suicidal anymore. I don't have to use an exercise ball at all anymore. The massager is literally the only thing that I need to conquer, but you know that. But that's going to come after I've done everything that I need to do for my dad's estate, because I just know that I'm going to need that to soothe me. So I'm not going to work on the physio stuff until the last minute, really. But I can cope. I'm in a position now where I can cope okay. I've worked around it, kind of thing. But that is the last thing that needs to be dealt with. I haven't fallen over again. I don't have tachycardia anymore. I can be left alone. Again, I don't like it because I'm more introspective when I'm on my own, but I'm not afraid of being alone anymore because I trust my body now. I can take a shower now, hooray! And I can wash my hair. Washing my hair isn't pleasant because I've got very long hair, and I like to wash it with my head upside down over the bath. I just can't seem to wash it actually in the shower, if you know what I mean. But I can, yeah. I mean, I still use dry shampoo quite a lot, because I don't believe you need to wash your hair that much anyway, unless it smells. I use dry shampoo quite a lot. But yeah, I don't really struggle with that as much anymore. I can shower, no problem. I'm just very quick about it, put it that way. I'm very quick about it when I go for a shower. Yeah, and I've definitely slowed down my pace. But as soon as there's something that I need to do, something I need to take action on, I'm still going into the old pattern of, right, I have to do it. I have to, accept responsibility for everything, and it all has to be done like right this minute. And I've got to take a more relaxed attitude to everything and slow down, because that's what got me ill in the first place. So I've got to change that. But that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm in the hot tub now because there is stuff that I know I need to be getting on with, but it can wait. It can wait. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope you're okay. If you're not, reach out, and I will see you on Sunday. And it should be Sunday next week, because there's nothing. I'll be in Margate next weekend, but there won't be anything mental going on. So, all right, love you, leave you. Bye.